Picture this. A creature so tough, so clever, that it's turning peaceful farmlands into war zones. Fields ripped apart overnight. Forests destroyed. Roads dug up like battlefields. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. It's real, and it's happening right now. And the craziest part? This unstoppable invader is fueling a multi-billion-dollar global industry. Meet the wild boar, a species so powerful that scientists now call it the most destructive animal on Earth. They breed like wildfire, outsmart traps, ruin crops, and even spread deadly diseases. But humans are fighting back, not with bullets, but with AI-powered traps, drones, and bioengineering. And deep in the southern US, a quiet revolution is happening, turning these monsters into money. Stay till the end, because what began as an ecological disaster may now be one of the most profitable industries in America. Centuries ago, when European explorers first crossed the Atlantic, they carried more than dreams of discovery. They brought with them a dangerous stowaway: pigs. Tame, friendly, and meant only for food. But when some of them escaped into the wild, everything changed. These pigs adapted fast, growing stronger, faster, and smarter than anyone imagined. They became what we now call feral hogs, the ancestors of the wild boar population that dominates parts of the US today. Back in 1539, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto brought over 300 pigs to Florida. Many escaped into forests and swamps, breeding freely. They found paradise, endless food, warm weather, no natural enemies. It was the perfect setup for invasion. By the early 1900s, European settlers wanted to make hunting more exciting. So they imported Eurasian wild boars, bigger, faster, more aggressive, and released them into private game reserves. When fences broke, these boars escaped and bred with local pigs. The result? A hybrid super pig, part wild, part domestic, and 100% unstoppable. These creatures can survive anywhere, from swamps to grasslands, even deserts. As long as there's food and water, they thrive. Ecologists call them habitat generalists, meaning they can live in almost any environment. That's what makes them so dangerous. They don't just adapt, they conquer. Their secret weapon? Reproduction. A single female can give birth twice a year, with 4 to 12 piglets each time. That's how a small group turns into an invasion within months. In Texas alone, studies show that if even 30% of the population survives, it can rebuild itself to full numbers in 1 year. To keep their population stable, at least 70% must be removed annually. Imagine trying to catch 7 out of every 10, every single year. That's nearly impossible. So they keep spreading, digging up soil, eating roots, destroying crops, and causing erosion. At night, entire herds known as sounders move like a silent army through farms. By morning, acres of corn and wheat are gone, like a small war happened overnight. The US Department of Agriculture estimates that wild pigs cause over $2.5 billion in damage every year, and that number keeps rising. They're in 35 states and counting. But this invasion isn't only about damaged crops. It's about ecological collapse. Wild boars eat everything: turtle eggs, birds, even small mammals. They destroy nests, roots, and trees, leaving entire forests unable to regrow. Scientists call them ecosystem engineers, because they literally reshape the land, but through destruction, not creation. And with that destruction comes something worse: disease. These animals carry more than 30 types of parasites and deadly viruses, including African swine fever, one of the biggest threats to global pork production. If that virus spreads through US livestock, experts say it could cost tens of billions of dollars and cause a nationwide food crisis. They've also been linked to outbreaks of brucellosis and foot and mouth disease, both of which can infect humans. In short, these wild pigs aren't just an environmental threat. They're a public health ticking bomb. And yet, this story isn't all doom. Because humans have learned something crucial: if you can't destroy the enemy, profit from it. Across Texas, Oklahoma, and Alabama, farmers are now turning this crisis into an opportunity. They're using smart traps, massive circular cages up to 12 meters wide, equipped with motion sensors and cameras that connect straight to their phones. The trap doesn't close until every pig in the herd is inside. Then, with one tap, bam, the gate shuts, capturing the entire sounder. Farmers watch live feeds at night and trigger traps remotely. It's like running a digital battlefield, but against pigs. Texas A&M researchers call this the future of wildlife control. They say smart traps have cut farm losses by more than 70%. At the same time, these captured boars are now part of a growing industry. Instead of killing them and wasting the meat, licensed facilities buy them from farmers. Each animal is tested for disease, processed under strict USDA rules, and turned into meat products sold across the US and Europe. One Texas farmer, Jack Harrison, used to lose 25% of his harvest each year. After switching to smart traps, his losses dropped to just 5%, and now he earns extra income selling the captured boars. He says, "We stopped fighting with anger. Now we fight with strategy. And it's working." What once was an endless battle has become a business. Wild boar meat, also known as wild pork, is now a premium product. It's leaner, richer in protein, and lower in fat than regular pork. Chefs call it the untamed flavor of America. It sells for 30 to 50% more than normal pork, and the demand keeps growing. From Texas ranchers to restaurants in New York, Paris, and Tokyo, this once-hated creature has become a symbol of human adaptability, how chaos can turn into profit. As wild boar meat gained popularity, something incredible happened. The very animal once labeled a plague became a product. Processing plants across Texas and Oklahoma began turning captured boars into clean, export-ready meat. At these USDA-approved facilities, every animal is checked for diseases like brucellosis and African swine fever before processing. Veterinarians supervise every step to ensure the meat is safe, clean, and handled humanely. Once approved, the meat is chilled and prepared for shipment, some for local restaurants, others exported to Europe and Asia, where wild pork is considered a delicacy. Chefs across the country can't get enough of it. They talk about the flavor, rich, earthy, and touched with a natural smokiness. It's the kind of taste you can't fake, because it's born out of survival. And it's not just delicious, it's shockingly healthy. USDA data shows wild boar meat contains only about 3% fat, that's 5 times leaner than regular pork. Yet it's loaded with protein, iron, and omega-3s. Clean, organic, and untouched by the factory farming system. No cages, no hormones, no antibiotics. Just nature, transformed into nutrient-rich fuel. This shift has created a surprising twist. The same creature once called America's most destructive pest has now become a profitable resource. Each wild boar a farmer traps can bring in $100 to $150. Multiply that by the millions roaming across the South, and you're looking at a booming multimillion-dollar industry. What used to be chaos is now commerce. What used to be a nuisance is now an asset. But behind the profits lies a bigger question. How far can humans reshape nature before nature reshapes us? So, what started as a silent invasion has turned into one of America's strangest success stories. The wild boar, once a nightmare for farmers, is now a symbol of resilience, innovation, and balance. It reminds us that in a world full of chaos, there's always a way to turn disaster into opportunity. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because we have many more real-world stories where nature and humanity collide in the most unexpected ways. This is Oddity Farming, and the story of the wild boar invasion has only just begun.